With the release of the version 3.0, we can finally pull for the real Herta, and not the one we were used to see. And that makes Herta the third 4-star character getting a 5-star version. I just hope Sample will be another one soon. Anyways, in this video, I will talk about everything you need to know about the Herta, how she works, to build her, who is good with her, everything. So just before the video starts, don't forget to leave your like and your sub. Also, don't forget to follow me on my Twitch. I stream sometimes there, and you can win free blessings for the game of your choosing by watching and participating on them. Don't forget to use code DFNX at U7BUY if you want some discount when buying Stellar Jades. All my links are in the description, so make sure to give them a look. And without any more furthers, let's now explain the Herta's kit. The Herta is a 5-star ice character that follows the path of erudition and is focused on being a better version of her puppets. On her basic attack, you get it, the Herta deals ice damage based on her attack to one enemy. When you use her skill, Big Brain Energy, the Herta deals ice damage based on her attack to one enemy and inflicts 1 stack of interpretation. Additionally, it deals ice damage based on her attack to the targets hit by this instance of skill and their respective adjacent targets, and this effect can repeat 2 times. On her ultimate, Told ya, magic happens, the Herta rearranges the number of interpretation stacks on all enemies, prioritizing the transfer of a higher number of interpretation stacks to elite level targets and above. Then, deals ice damage based on her attack to all enemies. Also, when using ultimate, the Herta's attack is increased by a percentage, lasting for 3 turns. And after using ultimate, the Herta immediately takes section and gains 1 stack of inspiration. Inspiration can stack up to 4 times, and while having inspiration, enhances skill to Hear Me Out. On her enhanced skill, Hear Me Out, the Herta consumes 1 stack of inspiration, and deals ice damage based on her attack to one designated enemy and inflicts 1 stack of interpretation. Then, she deals the damage based on her attack to the target hit by this instance of skill and adjacent targets, repeating 2 times. And for last, deals ice damage based on her attack to all enemies. On her talent, Hand Them Over, when enemy targets enter battle, the Herta inflicts 1 stack of interpretation on them. At the start of each wave, applies 25 stacks of interpretation to a random enemy target, prioritizing elite enemy targets or higher. When the enhanced skill primary target has interpretation, multiplier for the damage dealt increases depending with the amount of stacks that they have. Additionally, 2 or more characters follow the path of erudition in the team, each stack grants an additional increase of damage. Interpretation can stack up to 42 times, and when using an enhanced skill, resets the number of interpretation stacks on the primary target to 1. After the enemy target leaves the battle or gets defeated by any unit, interpretation will be transferred, prioritizing the transfer to elite level targets and above. And for last, on her technique, Pipe Checker, the Herta attack increases by 60% at the start of the next battle, lasting for 2 turns. Also, if there are basic treasures on the current map, using her technique will mark up to 3 basic chests locations, and entering battle by using her technique in Simulated Universe or Divergent Universe deals true damage equal to 99% of the target's max HP to enemies targets lower than the elite level, and true damage equal to 30% of the target's max HP to enemies targets at elite level or above. Now that we know how the Herta works, now time to talk about her traces and priorities to level up. On her minor traces, the Herta will get a total of 22.4% ice damage, 18% attack, and 5 speed, helping you balancing her stats and increasing her damage. On her first major trace, Aloofly Honest, when allies attack, inflicts 1 stack of interpretation on the hit enemy. After attacking, for every 1 target hit by this attack, regenerates 3 fixed energy for the Herta, counting up to a maximum of 5 targets. And using enhanced skill, and if the primary target's interpretation stack is 42, increases ice damage dealt by the Herta by 50% until the end of this attack. On her second major trace, Message from the Beyond the Veil, when entering battle, if the team has 2 or more characters following the path of erudition, then increases all allies crit damage by 80%, calculates at least 3 targets when the trace Aloofly Honest calculates hit targets, applies 1 stack of interpretation to the target that has the highest current interpretation stacks among the hit enemy targets after attacking, and additionally applies 2 stacks of interpretation if the attacker is a character following the path of erudition. Jesus, I know. I don't know why Hoyoverse is making these passives even longer and longer. And for last, on her third major trace, Starved Landscape of Vacua, for every 1 stack of interpretation inflicted on enemy targets, the Herta gains 1 stack of answer up to 99 stacks. When using the ultimate, every stack of answer increases the ultimate's damage multiplier by 1%. For her trace priorities, you should focus on your skill first, followed by your ultimate and talent with the same priority, and for less your basic. something you will barely use, so you don't need to level it up if you don't want to. Now let's talk about the Herta Eidolons for those who, just like her puppet, love her so much to the point that they want to hyper-invest on her. With her E1, when the enhanced skill calculates interpretation, additionally calculates 50% of the interpretation stacks on one target with the highest stacks out of the primary targets and adjacent targets. When using the enhanced skill to reset interpretation, reset the stacks number to 15 instead. On her E2, if enemy interpretation reaches 42 when stacks are applied or transferred to them, then the Herta gains 1 stack of inspiration, and when using enhanced skill, the Herta's action advances by 35% if the target's interpretation stack is 42, additionally advances the Herta's action by 25%. Her E3 increases the level of her skill and talent by 2. With her E4, the speed of characters following the pair of erudition in the team increases by 12%. Her E5 increases the level of her ultimate by 2 and the level of her basic attack by 1. And her E6, the Herta's ice res span increases by 20%. And when the number of targets on the field is 3 or more, 2 or 1, ultimate's damage multiplier increases by 140%, to 50% or 400%. Now let's talk about the best relics and planetary ornament sets you could use on the Herta. Unlike her puppets who use follow-up attacks, the Herta focus more on skill and ultimate damage, so her best in slot relic set will be the 4-piece Scholar, since it will provide you some crit rate on its 2-piece effect, something she's lacking on her kit, and 20% ultimate damage bonus and up to 45% skill damage bonus on its 4-piece effect. But if you are an OG player that used to farm the ice set, 4-piece Hunter of Glacier Forest will also be a usable pick for the Herta, since it will provide 10% ice damage on its 2-piece and 25% crit damage for 2 turns after using your ultimate. And for last, you can mix and match 2 pieces between the sets that provide some crit rate, attack percent and damage percent. For planar ornaments, her best in slot will be, in my opinion, Izumu Gensei and Takama Divine Realm, especially if you don't pull anything funny and you obey the Herta demands of being played with another erudition unit, because if you do, you will not only get 12% attack, but you will also get an extra 12% crit rate. Another good option for the Herta is Rutland Arena, since it will give you 8% crit rate, and it will also increase your basic and skill damage by 20% if you reach at least 70% crit rate on your build. And for last, if you are going for a pure fiction build, Tigone is another good option that some will probably consider being her on par with Izumo, since this set will give you 4% crit rate and up to 40% crit damage depending on the number of enemies who die in a battle.
Now
Now that you know what set to farm, let's now talk about the best stats you need to be looking for. For the chest, crits, with a big focus on crit rate since she gets a lot of crit damage from her traces. For the boots, speed. For the sphere, ice damage. And for the rope, attack percent. For the substats, you should focus on crits, attack and speed. For the Herta Lightcones, her best in slot will be her signature, Into the Reachable Way, increasing your crit rate by 12% and your ultimate and skill damage by 60% for 3 turns when you use an ultimate. And to top it all, after using an ultimate, if your ultimate consumes 140 or more energy, you will recover 1 skill point. Her second best option, and also her best 4-star option, will be the Battle Pass Lightcone. Today is another peaceful day, because it will increase your damage based on your max energy, giving your Herta a permanent 32% damage buff, and if you went for this Lightcone at S5, you will get instead a permanent 60% damage bonus, which is massive. If you have a Mako signature Lightcone laying around on your inventory with no user for it, or if your Battle Pass Lightcone is not at S5 yet, then it's a good idea to use this Lightcone instead thanks to the massive buffs of attack it provides. Her best F2P Lightcone will be the Simulated Universe Lightcone Eternal Calculus, which, just like a Mako signature, will provide you tons of attack, but it will also increase your speed as long as you go against at least 3 enemies. And keep in mind that unlike most Lightcones I mentioned before, you can go for S5 totally for free, giving even you more free stats. And for last, if you don't have any of the previous options, you can always use Genius Repose or the Serious Naval Breakfast, since both will offer decent buffs as long as you keep defeating enemies. For the Herta teams, you will be a character that will pretty much be able to clear any type of game mode, with the only concern being the fact that you will need to run another erudition. With this being said, these are some team options. For an hyper carry team, pair her with Jade, Robin or Remembers MC, and Huoho or Linksha. For a pure fiction team, pair pair her with Jade, Himeko or Herta, Robin, and Aventurine. For an F2P team, pair her with Serval, Remembers MC, and Gallagher. Just don't forget you don't need to do these exact teams. You always have other characters that have similar functions with the ones I talked about. And if you have some teams that didn't appear here and want to share them, leave your favorite teams down on the comments for all of us to give it a look. So, what's your opinion about the Herta? Is she a valuable pool for your account? What do you think about her? I hope with this video you are not able to understand how she works, now you should build her. Share this video with everyone you know that is still thinking about getting her. And if you ended up liking this guide, don't forget to leave your sub and your like. Also, I stream sometimes on my Twitch and you are able to win some free blessings there, so make sure to give it a look. Don't forget to use code DPHENIX on U7Buy for a discount when buying Stellar Jades. A special thanks to my members for trying to support me, and thank you so much for keeping me company. Have an amazing day everyone, and good luck on your pulls.